Not, I'd like to get a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second for approval of the meeting minutes with no corrections. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Under old business, there is none. Under new business, item number 1, this is a special exception application for 2609 North Front Street. It's zone RF. It's filed by David Butcher with WCI Partners LP. This is to establish a second fitness center use on site and to request relief from the off-street parking requirements for such uses, which requires special exception approval per section 7-305.7 of the zoning code.
Yes, so the applicant is proposing to establish a by appointment only fitness studio, which would be classified as a fitness center use, which requires zoning hearing board approval of a special exception application for section 7-305.7 of the zoning code. The applicant is also requesting ZHB approval of a special exception application for relief from the off-street parking requirements associated with the proposed use. Property at 2609 North Front Street is a 0.49 acre lot featuring a one-story 3,800 square foot structure, which was constructed in 1950. Property is bounded by the property at 2615 North Front Street to the north, North 2nd Street to the east. Properties at 2601 North Front Street, 100 and 102 Radnor Street, and 2604 North 2nd Street to the south and North Front Street to the west. This detached structure features elements of the international architectural style. Character defining features include a brick facade with a painted mural on the front elevation, the asymmetrical front facade featuring a row of fixed pane windows, a regular fenestration pattern along the side rear elevations, and a prominent big brick chimney in the rear. Main entrance features full view metal doors topped by a simple metal transom and a shallow black awning set within a substantial concrete surround. Rear entrance reflects this design with a full view metal door set beneath a shallow awning. Fenestration also includes windows in a variety of sizes and paint configurations. Front elevation features a row of fixed pane metal windows atop hopper windows set within concrete headers and lintels. Windows in the side and rear elevations feature the same window design set within simple brick frames and a regularly spaced pattern. Structure is topped with a flat rubber roof. Property otherwise features well-maintained landscaping with 2 separate parking areas. Though the building differs markedly from many of the others along Front Street and the nearby neighborhood to the east, it does contribute to the varied architectural character of the corridor and makes a minor contribution to the architectural character of the streetscape and neighborhood. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. The proposed use will be replacing an existing office use on site, and thus will not increase the overall intensity of the property or result in an expansion of the existing development on site. Given that there is an existing by appointment only fitness center use on site, which has not resulted in any adverse impacts to the surrounding community, it is reasonable to conclude that the proposed use would not be out of character with the surrounding neighborhood. Finally, given the by appointment nature of the 2 fitness center uses that will be on site, the existence of 2 parking areas on the subject property and the available spaces in the surface parking lot to the north, it is reasonable to assume that the business will not generate on-street parking demand and thus that there will be no impact for existing residents or businesses.
Thank you, staff. Could you state your name and your address and your relationship to the project?
Sure. Dave Butcher, 1900 North 2nd Street, representing the ownership of the property.
Noah Parsons, 593 Nauvoo Road, owner of Triple P Fitness.
Are the 2 ladies with you or?
Yes, Lori Fortini with WCI Partners, also representing the ownership, and then Beth Seitz, who's the owner of Absolute Pilates.
Maybe they should.
My wife, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Who is there currently and can speak to, if needed, her use of parking currently.
Well, you both of the gentlemen and young ladies heard this staff report. Are you acceptable of the conditions?
There weren't any.
No, I'm so used to it. I'm so programmed. Okay, with that, I have no questions at this time for the commissioners. I'll start with Commissioner O'Toole, any questions or?
Not really. I guess about 2 years ago, David, you're forced with the Pilates studio. And obviously that's still in existence and
Yes.
ongoing. Okay. Yeah, I've no further questions.
Commissioner Reed,
I have no questions.
Commissioner Merrick,
I think it makes sense, you're basically expanding a use, similar use that's already on site. And by appointment only, it sounds like it's not a daily use of the space. I mean, how many clients would you be talking about on an average day?
It's just one-on-one base, so it would meet
but-
me and
okay.
one client.
Oh, okay, yeah, so, it doesn't seem that the parking is really a concern.
Commissioner Jordan,
No questions.
this looks pretty straightforward, but just in case, is anyone from the public for or against this project? If you are, please stand and state your name and address. I'll start with the center. No one to my right, no one to my left. With that, commissioners, as I said, I think it's straightforward, and as Commissioner Merrick has covered my area of parking. Parking looks pretty good. So I have no concerns. So I think it's a good project. And I would like to have a motion.
Motion to approve
Second.
without conditions.
It's been moved and second for approval of the project. All those in favor state by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, motion carried. Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we have item number 2. This is a lot consolidation and land development plan for 1933 and 1951 Hurst Street. It's zone CN and industrial. Followed by Mr. Singh and Mohinder Gill with M&N Inc. is to demolish the existing diner and gas station structures on site, consolidate the lots and construct a new gas station and convenience store on site, along with associated site and access improvement.
So as you noted, the applicant is proposing to demolish the existing diner and gas station structures on site, consolidate the lots and construct a new gas station and convenience store on site, along with associated site and access improvements. The properties in 1933 and 1951 Hurst Street, total 0.69 acres. Former features a 1,552 square foot structure, which was constructed in 1956. And the latter features a gas station canopy and small convenience store structure, which was constructed in 1991. Property is bounded by Hurst Street to the north, North 20th Street to the east, Kunkel Street to the south, and the property at 1927 Hurst Street to the west. 1933 Hurst Street features a detached structure, which is a diner, formerly called the American Dream Diner, that features elements of the Boogie architectural style. Character defining features include the 1950s era embellishments, the horizontal metal facade treatments above and below large windows that wrap around the front and sides of the building, a clock above the entrance vestibule, and a rooftop sign which advertised former businesses on site. The main entryway features full view metal doors in a vestibule extended from the main building facade with entrances on either side, accessed by concrete steps and metal railings. Fenestration also includes 14 fixed pane windows around the perimeter of the diner, including 2 curved glass windows on the front corners. The structure appears to be topped with a rubber roof. Property is otherwise entirely paved for use as an accessory parking lot and traffic circulation. 1951 Hurst Street features a detached structure, which is a small convenience store incorporated into a larger gas station canopy and filling station islands. Character defining features include the wooden siding on the store, the gabled roof over the store, and the prominent blue band around the canopy on. There are 2 main entrances into the store area, both featuring half-view metal doors. Fenestration also includes 4 plate glass windows. The entire structure is topped with a metal roof. Property is otherwise entirely paved for use as an accessory parking lot and traffic circulation. Though the diner structure is a relatively unique expression of its architectural style in the city, it does not reflect the character of the residential neighborhood to the south and west or the industrial area to the east. Structures have little architectural or historic value and do not contribute to the historic and architectural character of the streetscape. Planning Bureau staff recommends a request be approved with the following conditions. The applicants must address the comments from the city engineer's office prior to the application being heard by city council. This includes aspects such as the proposed retaining wall, truck circulation on site, PennDOT approval of a highway occupancy permit, and approval from Capital Region Water. This also includes the provision of a photometric plan to confirm the site lighting will be in conformance with the environmental performance standards, chapter 7-331 of the zoning code. The applicant will reconstruct or install new ADA compliant sidewalks along the northern and eastern frontages of the project site, as well as an appropriate curb face reveals, and the vehicular access will be treated as a driveway curb cut in which the driveway elevates to the height of the sidewalk. The applicant should provide a direct pedestrian connection to the sidewalk along her street, and that's meant to be to the convenience store. The applicant must provide bike racks on site. The Bureau recommends that these be installed near the entrance to the convenience store and accessible from the Herb Street sidewalk. Any new signage on site will be in conformance with the applicable regulations of the zoning code, or if not, will receive approval for a zoning relief request as necessary from the zoning hearing board. The applicant should provide a landscaping plan indicating whether any landscaping will be installed in the areas around the proposed convenience store building. And finally, the applicant should consider the inclusion of publicly accessible EV chargers on site to accommodate the growing number of electric vehicles, and also in consideration of the property's proximity to Interstate 81. Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. Proposed development will replace two deteriorated and underutilized structures that have had a blighting influence on the streetscape, and will construct a new convenience store use that will enhance retail options for surrounding residents and workers. Approval of the proposal will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood and will provide benefits such as increased permanent job opportunities and temporary construction jobs. Finally, the project will result in the removal of several unnecessary curb cuts along Her Street, clarifying vehicular access to the site, removing vehicular pedestrian conflict points, and making access and circulation safer for all road users.
Thank you, staff. Could you state your names, address, and relationship to the project?
Yes, my name is Max Stoner with Glace Associates Engineers. We prepared the plans. And
My name is Aman Gill. I am the daughter of the owner, and I have just my husband who will also be working on the project with me.
Okay. Both of you heard the staff report. Are you acceptable of the conditions?
yes, we are.
Did you want to add anything to the report?
No, I think it's definitely a benefit to the city. I think especially in pedestrian walkways through the area, getting rid of the two driveways out on Her Street will certainly help make it more safe for pedestrian traffic.
Okay.
We did have that in the design to get rid of two of the driveways already, so we were prepared to do that.
Okay. I guess the only concern, not concerned, but did you speak to any people in the community or any neighbors nearby that you're building this?
I mean, we have told some of the people that are existing customers of the gas station right now, and everyone seems like so far it hasn't been that many people that we told, but they seem thrilled about it. They seem excited. But I haven't had any like yeah, we haven't made it totally public yet.
But one thing is Uncle Street, which is behind it, there's a pretty steep hill, so they really won't see too much from your homes. But the convenience store there will probably help out people because much larger than what's there now. I think that food and drinks and
Yeah, so our options of food and beverages is gonna increase, and then just like the overall efficiency of the gas station is gonna increase as well. So right now, a lot of things are run down. Stuff is just not working. Not that convenient.
Okay. The reason I state that is mainly we, the commissioners, always like the projects to talk to the community, or maybe there may be one neighbor that, like, so I just was wondering if you did take a, with
We've
any of
talked to
them. But
some.
if you haven't, I would just, mention it, that you're being there. If there's anything they can suggest that might help out. And the other point, I don't know if in the report it reflected on the lighting what types of lights you're using. We don't want them to be reflective, like, you know,
So not going to like the neighbors'
Neighbors,
houses and
yeah.
stuff, of course, yeah. That were, so our engineers should be considerate of that. We're aware of
Yeah, the
those situations.
architect and our office are working. We had something that was put in for submission, but they're gonna fine tune it.
There should be enough lighting that the sidewalk is, accessible and stuff, but not that it's going into someone's house. You're right.
okay. Commissioners, with that, I don't have any other questions at this time. If you have any questions, concern, I'll start with Commissioner O'Toole.
All right, Jeffrey, I see conditions 5 and 6 are the applicant should, what kind of a condition is that?
So let's see. Yeah, so I mean, should from a, I guess, planning perspective, like MPC perspective implies like a requirement. So for 5, it would, we do want to see a landscaping plan, just making sure, see what comes on site. The other one was, I guess, more of a recommendation.
All right. Yeah, not that's really relevant, but the diner, is that something that can be moved? I mean, I see it says it's going to demolish.
We have looked into that, and everyone that we've talked to, they said you should definitely,
Just tear it down.
no, move it.
Oh, really? Okay.
They're like,
Okay.
yeah, it's, want it, so,
Yeah, I think there's some nostalgia for it. So,
yeah, it's nostalgic.
yeah, and we do like to have notice to the neighbors and whatnot, but I'm willing to overlook it in this case because we're going from an existing diner and existing gas station to just an existing gas station. So it's not too drastic of a change. Plus, I think most of the neighbors in the cemetery up there, are probably the biggest.
Fine neighbors.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have no further questions.
Commissioner Reed,
I have no questions.
Commissioner Murray.
Yeah, I think, I think overall this is certainly an improvement to the site, and in some ways keeping in line with the same use. It's nice to hear that the diner relocated, maybe repurposed or something, right? Because it's funny, a couple of us did-
Ideally,
yeah, right. There might be a wanting buyer, I don't know, somebody to take it, but no, as far as the project goes, I think it's generally an improvement. I think this got picked up maybe in the engineer's comments. I had a couple concerns about truck traffic coming into this area. I mean, I agree that the driveways are an improvement, but then I wasn't sure about some of the turning points there, because then you've got like a 6-space spot kind of in the middle there. I'm not sure how that would affect larger trucks than to maneuver around that parking lot.
Well, we had to sort of maximize the number of parking spaces there. For the match, what was required, 75 square feet.
Yeah.
Right now, what's being proposed is better than what's there now.
right now, we don't have a huge truck traffic flow, usually just the delivery folks that we get that bring the trucks around. Besides that, I think the only trucks that we've ever seen there are someone overnight that's like, making a U-turn or something.
Okay, yeah, I was
besides
thinking
that,
about
we
like a
don't have-
tractor trailer truck,
No,
if
we
it
don't have
pulled
tractor
into
trailer.
this, might have a difficult time.
Yeah, but we know it's definitely accessible, like enough area for a truck to get through because the gas delivery folks,
yeah,
they
diesel
will
truck,
get through, yeah.
I think the engineer made a couple comments about that and.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like modeling and stuff.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
like truck turning. trees, okay, but that was really the. I think that was the only question I had.
Commissioner Jordan.
Not a question, just more of a comment. It looks like for recommendation number 6, looks like on the plans, they already have a spot for future charging. Is that correct?
So what we plan on actually doing is having conduits run through, but once EV does come through, we want to put in like the fast chargers, which are, $500,000-$700,000 right now, so they are not really in the plan at the moment. But we're gonna have conduits, we're gonna have enough electric to power those once they do start coming through.
So eventually, but you'll have the infrastructure. for it.
Yeah, we'll have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
We have thought about that. We have, we
Nice.
don't want to be out of business either.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really don't have any questions. I'm in agreement with the rebuilding of the pedestrian infrastructure for the sidewalk and trying to cut down on vehicle pedestrian conflicts. So
One of the questions I actually had on the comment was, are we required to get that HOP permit prior to anything happening?
I mean, PennDOT will require that before you're probably removing curb cuts, I think, as part of their, I don't know what their actual process is, but anytime you're basically impacting a state right of way, you're gonna be removing something like, that's a pretty perfunctory review. But that, it would be a requirement.
We're waiting to hear back from PennDOT.
Is there anyone from the public for or against this project? And I'll start with the middle, the gentleman in the back.
No objections.
We're desperate for comments. Okay. Commissioners, as I said, this seems straightforward and it's a good project. And talking about living in the past, I remember eating at this diner years ago. I won't say how many years, but and they used to have, what were they called, rope sausages.
It's famous for that.
They were like delicious. Everybody went there for that.
You don't
So
wanna see that.
I don't know if you guys would do that, but yeah,
You don't wanna see-
but yeah, I think it's a good project and they used to have traffic there too. Like, I mean, they were in the parking lot and out in the street and everywhere else. But you're concerned and good, but I think right up the street, they have like I don't know if it's a milk manufacturer or some kind.
Yeah.
Harrisburg dairies.
And I don't know how in the world those trucks, they back in and stop the traffic and it's amazing. I mean, they've been there for years, but anyways, I think it's a good project. Commissioners, could I get a motion?
Move to approve with conditions and recommendations.
Is there a second? It's been moved to second for approval of this project with the conditions and recommendations. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your time.
I'll check to see if you do get those sausages. Other business, you have any?
Nothing for this month.
Does the solicitor have any comments?
I don't, but thanks.
You notice I'm trying to extend this. meeting. I like, even I couldn't get a
You trying
hand.
to stay till 7 or?
Well, anything else for the good of the world? Not, is there a motion for adjournment? Is there a second?
second.
Okay. Move to second, we stand adjourned.